Hello everyone, welcome Angular developers and web enthusiasts. Welcome to this step-by-step tutorial where we are going to build a powerful reusable multi-select dropdown component using Angular 17. In the next couple of minutes, we will dive right into creating a standalone component, implementing dynamic filtering using Angular 17's new control flow syntax, styling a sleek modern UI, and making your component truly reusable. Whether you're a beginner looking to level up or an experienced developer wanting to sharpen your skills, this tutorial has something for you. It will cover everything from basic setup to advanced features and best practices. By the end, you will have a flexible, efficient, multi-select component that you can drop into any Angular project. So grab your favorite code editor and let's start building. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Angular content. Let's dive right in. All right, you can see this is what we'll be building, a multi-select Angular dropdown. So you can see you can select, and once I select, it gets added to this input right here. And also you can decide to remove selected items like so, and when you click outside, the drop down disappears. All right, so let's start by building our project. So I have with me here a multi-select application that I have just created, Angular application using the new Angular CLI command. All right, so we are going to start building right away. First thing first, we want to build a multi-select component. So to do that, you're going to use the command ng-c multi-select. All right, so we have our multi-select component right here. So let's start building. All right, so first off, I'm just going to copy the styles and paste it right here for the multi-select, so we don't waste time, on styling and all of that. So we have a simple style. We have right here the multi-select dropdown and the input container and the selected item. If you want an image as well, you have that here, the button, the drop-down list, the drop-down item, when you overrun it and all of that. So we have the styles right here. So let's dive into the template. Okay, so I'm going to take this out, and so what we want to do is want to create a div, and we're going to give this div a class of multi-select drop down. Then you also want to add a class container. You want to add a class container, or input container rather. Okay, like so. And for this, we'll be using the new control flow, using the @for and the @if syntax for more efficient rendering and cleaner code, cleaner template code. To do that, I'm just going to do @for, all right, like so. Okay, and we are going to loop through the items that we want to display first of all, and then we're going to place a condition using the @if, like so. All right, so but we'll track by item.name. You see that in a bit. All right, and we're also tracking if the item is selected. Okay, then we're going to show this div. All right, so this, we give it the selected item class for this, and then we display the item that is selected. All right, so don't worry about the error for now. So just item.name, that's what we want to give it, and then we're going to add our button to remove, so like so. And we are going to just put like tiny X here for that. Then let's add our event, click, and we're going to call this function remove item, and we're taking the item. We're going to use this to stop propagation, so just add the item there. All right, don't worry about the error, we'll fix that in a bit. And since we're done with that, let's go over to our input. All right, for our input, what we want to do is we want to have a type of text. Then on focus, our focus event, when the user places the cursor inside the input, we want to show the drop down. All right, so we're going to have a drop down method. After that, we're going to have at input as well event. So we also want to filter, so this our drop down is also going to be searchable. We want to be able to search the items on our drop down. All right, so also add an event listener here. Good. And we're going to add a placeholder as well. So this placeholder disappears when is drop down is false. Okay, so it's drop down visible, so, and if not, then we'll show a select items. Okay, all right, so let's go to our drop down itself. So once our drop down is visible, I'm going to comment this out and just collapse it. So we're going to use our if conditional. All right, is drop down visible? Is the drop down visible? If it is visible, okay, so show the drop down. So let's add our div, and for this div I'm going to give it a class of drop down list. All right, and then we are going to use our art4 to loop through the items. Okay, so item of filtered items, and we are going to be tracking. All right, so the reason why we are tracking basically is for performance optimization, right? So we use track in info for info loops to optimize rendering performance. So always make sure you use your track. Okay, so do the div again, and then you do a class of drop down item. Okay, by the way, it's been a while I've uploaded anything on YouTube. Hope you guys like this one. Okay, so click our click event, so we want to toggle the item. All right, so we are taking in the item and the event like so. All right, so there's an error. Take this out, and so once we've done that, we need to add our span. Okay, what we want to do here basically is to add a class of checked, a class of checkbox, pardon me. All right, and do a dynamic styling here as well. So if the class is selected, if the class is checked, pardon me, then we are going to say item selected. All right, then come right here, and if the item is selected, item.selected, and what happens is we are going to show this check mark. All right, so we have this check mark. We have this check mark right here. All right, and we give it a class of check mark, like so. Okay, then let's add the name as well. Show the name, and we're going to give this one item.name, and if there's an email, item.email, then we show the email. Okay, and obviously item.email. All right, like so. Also, if there is a role, you can also add an image as well if you want. I'm going to create an interface for all of this, so just put the role here. Yeah, I think that's that for that. All right, so we are done with template. All right, so this is the Dropdown template. We're done with this, so let's move over to our .ts file. For this, we are going to be using the @input and output decorators. Basically, we want to demonstrate component communication, receiving data via the input and also emitting events via the output. So to do that, first of all, we need to create our interface. So let's create our interface briefly for the select item, right? And we take in name, and it's going to be of type string, and image type string as well, but it's going to be optional. All right, then we take email, optional as well, type string, and we have row of type string, and lastly we have selected boolean. All right, so we have that. So let's add our input and output decorators. So come here at input. All right, and we take items, and then we take the selected as an array, initialize it to an array. Also at output to emit events. All right, and say selection range, selection change, new event emitter takes in selected item. All right, and yep. So let's add ElementRef. Basically, just inject ElementRef, and just going to use the inject feature and ref. Okay, now that we have that, let's add our properties. Is dropdown visible false, and let's create an array for our filtered items. Okay, filtered items of type select item, like so. Event emitter, okay, and let's set our ng on init. life circle, and this filtered items is equals to this dot items basically. Okay, and what else? So our filtered item method, so let's filter our items. It takes in the event, type event. All right, so the const search item equals to, so this event target as HTML element, HTML input elements. Okay, like so. Nice. All right, dot value dot to lowercase, close this. Then this dot filtered items equals to these dot items dot filter dot name, right, dot to lowercase dot includes search item, like so. Okay, so let's add our toggle item function or method. Toggle item. So for toggle item, we take item, type select item, also take an event, mouse event, right? And here we want to event.stop propagation. Right, in item dot selected equals to item dot selected. Right, negates this. Then we want to carry out our events. Selection change dot emit. We want to emit our event basically. This dot items dot filter, right, team dot selected, like so. So let's add our remove method, remove item method, and we take same thing, type select item, all right, and event mouse event. Okay, then we do the event of stop propagation. All right, then item dot selected, we set it to false, and we also need to emit this, so we do this dot selection change dot emit, and this item, so items dot filter. Okay, and like so, I dot selected. All right, so one more thing we want to do is we want to be able to click outside when we are done with the drop down. So to do that, we need to use the host listener to detect clicks outside the component and close the drop down accordingly. So to do that, we just need to call the decorator at host listener here, like so. And we want to do something with that. Document click. All right, taking the event, the mouse event. Okay, and if this dot ElementRef dot native element dot contains, okay, Okay, event.target. Okay, basically we want to set the drop down is drop down to false. Okay, like so. Target. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it for this component. Let's go right here and see if we have any errors. Everything looks good. Okay, we have one more method, show dropdown. Okay, let's go here and add our show dropdown method. So for this, we are setting our this dot is dropdown visible to true. So let's check one more time. So we have our items from the items array. Okay, and what else? We're tracking by name. All right, so we have the items right here. Items from our input, and we have our interface right here. Okay, so we're pretty much done with this. So let's go over to the parent component. Let's see how it looks. So this is how it looks currently. We're going to remove all of this. All right, so let's call our component here. First of all, we need to find out what the name is. So it's called app MultiSelect. We go right here, call this, okay, items, and then we add our event selection. Okay, let's go over to this place. Then in our import here, we're using Standalone, Angular Standalone component architecture, making it easy to import and use anywhere in your application. So we need to import our MultiSelect right here, component, like so. Then we need to add our items. Okay, so I'm going to drop these items right here. So let's run this. Okay, so we're good. You can see right here, when you select, okay, you can see the items, and you click outside, it's gone. You can also remove an item that has been selected. Okay,